I have in my hands the PXG Extreme Tour and the PXG Extreme Tour X golf balls, and I want to see what they do with a driver. And when the balls are on the ground, it's hard to tell because the difference is that tiny little X written on there. It doesn't stand out as much. I reckon they could do with just a little something just to separate the two, maybe a different color or something. But I've already done a video on the wedges and the irons to see the difference between these two golf balls. By all means, do go and check those out. Wow, a little bit off the top of the face. That's a good start, isn't it? I did warm-up swings and everything, and now the pressure's on. All right, let's pick a shot. I'm going to aim at a target as though I'm on the golf course. I want to swing to that. Just in the trees, but should have a line in from there. So I've picked to do this on a hole because I just want something to aim at. On the fairway. It does feel quite hard being the Tour, so the X is even harder. And this driver does make a bit of a racket, it does make a bit of noise. We'll see how that pitch changes. Definitely much more consistent hitting a wedge than I am a driver. Yeah, we've got some good ones in there to compare. I will come back to this ball for a few shots before I finish. Definitely higher pitch noise in the X. But how does it differ in speed and spin and all that fun stuff? PXG Extreme Tour X. Definitely higher pitched. Now on this driver that is a bit noisy. But if you're using a PXG golf ball because you like PXG, you've probably got a PXG driver, and the PXG drivers do sound a bit duller, so they don't have as much ting to them. So it wouldn't be as much of an issue. Noisy. Feels faster. Okay, so far so good. Got my natural shape in terms of a bigger draw. This isn't my custom fit driver because I'm just changing the grip and the shaft on it. I'll just need to tweak it a little bit, but this will do for now. The shaft in my driver will reduce that curve a little bit for me. So a few to take out of the first ones because it wasn't very good. Okay, so far some decent differences there. I just want to cycle back through these two golf balls. Bear with me. So the X comes here and the Tour comes in, and I will just double check it's definitely a Tour. And I want to hit a couple of balls at the end with the original PXG Extreme Tour golf ball. So the first one that they launched. So we can get an idea of how that original ball compares to the new ones. Just in case you're going for a change from the old ones to the new ones and you just want to see which one's going to suit more like what the old one does, or whether you want it to change completely. A little bit high on the face. Not too bad. Yeah, it's fine, it's over 300. And on the fairway. Can't ask for much more than that. A couple more with the X. Similar sort of pattern. I do draw this shaft and head combination more than I would like, but so be it. Yeah, it's got the same sort of pattern. So that'll take the edge off the total distance. Because it hit a tree. Nice. Okay, so not bad, not bad. Let's get the original ball. And the original ball, some criticism I had is that it spun really high. So we'll see what it does with the driver compared. It did chew up quite easily. Like, this is from my original testing when I first got this ball. I haven't used it much since. But it's definitely got a few more like wear marks on there from hitting a few wedges. So Extreme Tour written on them with a pretty funky design. I like that because I don't have to put a line on the ball. I can just use it to putt with without having to muck around the night before. Same design on the original golf ball. What does it say? Parsons Extreme Golf. So it's just got the PXG written out in full. Let's call this golf ball A. I know we want a different color. Let's go D. D, so it'll be in blue. Fairly similar noise, maybe a little bit softer, just. Yeah, it's still got up there, it's still got some distance on it. It's not shy. There is a particular golf ball in the market that spins a lot with an iron and a wedge, but it also spins a lot with a driver, and I have found that golf ball to lose 33 yards for me on a driver. So sometimes, yeah, you get the high spinning ball, that's great for your irons and wedges, but it can be really damaging to your driver. I won't name names, but my Golf Spy also don't like them. Very comparable shot. I feel like I put a little bit more speed. No, speed's normal. Decent. Are we going to lose anything compared to the original? Is it worth buying them at a lower price, or is it worth buying the new ones? Subject to availability, of course. Whoa, I turned over a bit more. That's in the trees. One more good one. Yep, that'll play. It's not shy. Not shy at all. Right, so let's see where we are sitting with these balls. We have the old ball there, got a few there. So we've got angle of descent 37.9, 33.7 on the Extreme Tour X. So it's coming in flatter, which will run more. Any that I need to take out, yeah, they're all about there. If I was going to take one out, I'd probably take that one out. To be fair, what are we doing? Doesn't really change the averages that much. It changes the carry 1 yard, changes the total 2 yards, changes the spin marginally, but it's still the same sort of area. Okay, we'll leave them all in, no dramas. We've got one in here actually, 290, 290, that hit a tree. So we don't want you in there. And I think I hit a tree with another one as well. 284, yeah, let's take you out and let's have a look at where we're at. So club wise, I swung the club. I've got different efficiency. So I've got more efficiency on the Extreme X. It's a harder core, so it'll probably come off the face a bit faster. Not quite as much as the Extreme Tour. The old one's sitting in the middle of the two. My speed was more on the last one. Maybe I was a little bit more warmed up, so I did get more speed on the older golf ball. My path is about the same with all of them, and I'm hitting up on the ball the same with all of them as well. So my dynamics haven't changed much, apart from that little bit of extra speed. But we're looking at a very similar shape between all of them. We've got ball speeds. The Extreme Tour, a little bit slower. So when this core gets softer with a faster swing speed, we lose a little bit of rebound off the face. We gain that rebound with a harder core, which does sometimes give us a harder feel. With the Extreme X, we had different spin rates in the irons compared to each other. And then we have a different spin rate in the driver compared to each other, which is good to see. Because I'm getting a lower spin, I'm getting a bit more carry on that speed and that launch. Launch angle exactly the same, minutely different on the old one. So the old one does spin more. So it hasn't gone out of scope into something horrible, but it is averaging that little bit higher, which normally means we get a little bit less carry. And then when we get that spin down more towards 2000, we get more carry out of it. I get it under 2000 into the 1700 area, and I've got more carry again. If you launch this below 10 and get that, that will drop. So I'm right at the cusp of efficiency here. I could do with that being more like 15 to get that to translate into much bigger drives, but there we go. Dispersion was very, very tight in the Extreme Tour X. Dispersion was slightly bigger in the Extreme Tour, and then the old golf ball, dispersion was bigger, but yeah, I wouldn't really relate that to anything apart from my swing. But there we go, they are the new golf balls for 2025 in the PXG lineup, and the older one, just to see what it does in comparison. If you want to see what the old one does in the irons and the wedges, jump in the comments to let me know and I'll get a video out on it. But generally it does spin a lot more, so that was a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. They just didn't quite go with the driver because they spun that little bit too much. In the new ones, we've got lower spin with a driver, which is lovely. Even lower in the Extreme Tour X, which is kind of the behaviour that I see with the Titleist Pro V1X, normally speaking. But you'll have to jump on that video in the driver for Titleist to see what the new 2025 balls do in them.